Parliamentary Committee on Local Government and Rural Development is asking the Ministry of Finance to increase the budgetary allocation for the school feeding program. The allocation for the program, which is 50 pesos per student per day, was increased to 80 pesos in the 2015 budget, but the committee wants the amount to be increased to 1 Ghana cedi. Some caterers have threatened to abandon the program as they are owed by government. Students have also been complaining about the poor quality of food they are being served. On phone now is a ranking member of the Local Government Committee of Parliament, Amial Treme. Thank you so much, Amial, for joining us here on News Today.
Okay.
Parliamentary Committee on Local Government and Rural Development wants feeding amount increased from the 80 pesos in 2015 budget to 1 Ghana cedi. Won't that put considerable financial burden on government?
Thank you. Good afternoon to your listeners. In fact, we haven't made any proposal. As a committee on local government and rural development, we're considering the estimates of the Ministry of Local Government and its agencies and departments. And school feeding program happens to be one of the agencies under the Ministry of Local Government. So within the estimates was embedded the estimates for the school feeding for fiscal year 2015. As of now, the feeding grant per child is 50 pesos. So the Ghana School Feeding Program itself was proposing that it be reviewed to 80 pesos per child per day. And as a committee, we agreed with them because the 50 pesos per day level was fixed about 4 or 5 years ago. And we all know that the economic circumstances of the country have changed. So if you could feed a child with 50 pesos 2, 3, 4 years ago, it might not be possible to do the same because it can affect the quality and the quantity. And if it affects the quality and the quantity, it defeats the objective for which the Ghana School Feeding Program was instituted. So we support the idea that we review it upwards. But the issue you raise is also germane. Is it not going to impose additional financial burden on the government? Yes, because if you take it from 50 to 80, it means you are adding 30 pesos per child. Already we are aware that government is unable to pay the school feeding caterers. So if the amount goes up, it means government will find it more difficult even to pay because the little amount they cannot pay. If you make it more, it makes it more difficult for them to pay. But the issue is about prioritizing. Is it better to feed our children while they go to school so that they will have a steady mind and learn? Or we don't do it so that many children stay at home? Because the school feeding program itself has attracted a number of children to school and is keeping them in school. What it means is that if we stop the school feeding, some children will go back home.
Yeah.
So we have to choose between God and the devil. The God in this is that it's helping the children. The devil in it is that it will hurt the children if it is not done. So government has to prioritize and get them the money to run it.
Let me also find out, the committee is also recommending that funds allocated to finance the school feeding program should directly come from the Ministry of Finance and not through the District Assembly Common Fund. How will this help in resolving constant delays in releasing funds to caterers?
Yes, if it is directly under the Ministry of Finance and not tied to the releases of the Common Fund, it means that at all times material, the Ministry of Finance will find the money and pay the school feeding program. Because the current arrangement is to the effect that it's only when we release, our government releases the Common Fund, that the administrator of Common Fund is also able to pay the Ghana school feeding program. When the releases are delayed, it means the caterers are not paid. As at about 5 weeks ago, I posed a question to the Minister of Local Government in Parliament. And in the course of the discussions, he intimated to us that as at that time, the program owed the caterers 101 million Ghana cedis. They have accumulated more. So as we speak today, I cannot be exact, but they're claiming about 125 to 130 million to the caterers. So if you keep paying, or if you keep the policy that school feeding program must be catered for from the Common Fund, and for the whole of this year, government has only released 50% of the first quarter of the Common Fund to the district assemblies. And that is why, for the whole year, out of 199 million Ghana cedis that is supposed to be paid to the Ghana school feeding program, only 38% has been paid, which is about 70 plus million. But the year is coming to an end. People have cooked, they have fed their children, and you are not paying them. They borrowed from the banks. So by the time you pay them their monies, interest accumulation would have wiped up any profit they will get. It's not fair to the caterers. That's why we are saying we should have a guaranteed source of payment.
I see. Well, so we hope that your cry would go out. For me, I think the 80% is just not enough, though 1 cedi is still not enough, but at least it's better. So we wish you the best, and we hope that you push hard enough.
Thank you so much.
Right, so we have been talking to Ameyaw Treme. He is parliamentary committee member, and they are advocating that the 80% was feeding fee per child in school for the school feeding program in the 2015 budget should be increased to 1 Ghana cedi at least, so the children are able to get some good feeding, and also the funding should be made from Ministry of Finance and not through the District Assembly Common Fund.